is one of the goals, is recording this video, which I've tried now 3 times to record. I've tried going on a walk and doing it like handheld vlog style, but things were noisy. And then I tried it at home and I couldn't get the camera to focus. And now I'm trying here in the car, and we're gonna see. I think the light's really nice. I think that's the perk of vlogging in a car, is that the light is often pretty nice. We have a nice kind of semi-sunny, actually it's super sunny out, but there's like a little bit of cloud cover. It's kind of nice. This vlog that I've been trying to record for the last 3 days is kind of an answer to why I'm returning to YouTube, but also why I left YouTube in the first place. So I have to look back at 2012, 10 years ago. And we have to think about what was going on in my life, or I have to think about what was going on in my life to answer some of the questions that I had when I quit uploading videos. Had work. Let's talk about work. Work had gotten intense. Work had always been intense. Like, I'd been working 40 to 60 hour weeks for a long time. But I'd also been promoted. I'd gone from just working in one of the retail locations to suddenly working part-time at the regional offices. And I had thought that this was the pinnacle of working in that kind of environment. This is what I wanted. I wanted to be at the regional office. And so I was trying really hard to do a good job. And there were a couple of moments where I had some epiphanies about what that was actually like, and how that didn't really fit with what I wanted out of life. So first, I've been working a lot of hours. The drive-in was just brutal. There was an instance where I'd been working all day long. It was like, started at 8 in the morning, and then 6 at night. I was still screening people, and I got done, and I went to bed. It was like 9 o'clock. And at some point after I turned off my phone and shut my laptop, actually it wasn't some point, at 11 o'clock at night, my boss sent me an email. And because I wasn't in the regular office the next day, I didn't even look at my laptop until I got to work the next day at like 7 o'clock in the morning. And in the time between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m., my boss had sent me several more emails asking me why I hadn't responded to her email, and several text messages, and left me a message telling me I needed to answer her phone calls. And I was like, like, one of the email messages was like, why didn't you answer your phone? And I wrote back, I was asleep. Apparently that was not a satisfactory answer. And I had this moment of like, I don't want this. This is not what I want for my life. So I resigned my position at the regional office. It was super intense. There was no chill about this. It was super intense. I stepped down into working in a store again, which I was very good at. And it was just hard. It was a hard time. So that was happening. And at the same time, I got braces. So I went and got braces. I'd never had them when I was a kid. And my teeth had started to kind of shift and move around. And I'd gone to the dentist. He's like, if you don't get this fixed, you're going to start losing your teeth. And I had been saving up to get braces. And when I went to the orthodontist, is like, okay, so first off, you can't have Invisalign. Secondly, you have to have real old-fashioned braces. You may need a harness at night, but you definitely need to have, I don't remember what the official things, but like these retainers that you wear all day that expand and contract your jaw. So I had one that expanded I think it was the palate. It was the top one that was expanding, and then the bottom was contracting so that my teeth would line up. And it was 6 months of just brutal, just pain all the time. I was constantly in pain, but also because I had these things in my mouth, I was lisping. I couldn't do this kind of conversation. And I was just in pain. So I didn't want, my job at work was a lot of talking. So I didn't want to do any additional talking because my face hurt, my voice hurt, my teeth hurt, everything in my face hurt. So I ended up doing that for 6 months, and then I got braces, and my face still hurt. It was still really painful. So that was another reason. And so there's this intense work environment. I got braces. I was in pain all the time. I couldn't talk normally. So all of that was happening, and I decided to apply for grad school. It wasn't a whim type thing at all. It was very much something I had been thinking about for a long time, something I'd wanted to do. And through the art journaling videos I've been doing, through my Ning site, which is a whole other story, I realized that the work that I was doing with my videos was teaching people how to use an art journal and art in a therapeutic context. And all of a sudden it started feeling like I was overstepping my bounds as an art educator and doing things that bordered on unethical because I was doing that therapeutic context. And that's not to say that everyone who does art journaling content needs to become an art therapist. That was what was best for me. That's what felt safest for me, because I wanted to make sure I was not doing any harm to anyone. So I applied for grad school in the mix of all of this. I notified my boss at the time, and that's kind of fun. I don't know if this is and in all of this, after I gave notice, after everything, things got even worse at work. I didn't think it could get worse, but it did. So once I decided, I gave them 3 months notice that I was going to take a couple months off before grad school. I made some requests, because I'd been with the company for almost 10 years at that point. And they really just decided to make my transition out of the company as difficult as they possibly could. So I left the company. I had a couple of months off, and my plan initially had been to double down on making YouTube videos, really work on the channel, and really expand it so that there was more there. And instead, YouTube started to not be fun because I'd reached, at that point, I had just over 6,000 subscribers, and I was starting to get noticed by trolls. And I will say that up until that point, I've been really lucky. I'd had a very, very minimum amount of harassment and trolls on the channel. But I started to get, and this is actually, so there's like this 6-month transition in from 2011 to 2012 where there's this buildup. And so I had avoided a lot of the stuff that women on the internet get, which is just comments on your appearance and comments on your voice, comments on this, comments on that. And, like I had comments on my weight, my skin, my hair, my teeth, the clothes that I was wearing. And I was like, dude, I just want to make fun art journaling content and art making content. Why are you like this? And honestly, do you think I don't know I'm fat? Like, do you think that I wasn't aware of what my teeth looked like? That was like the big one that really kind of, because I had been working and planning on getting braces, and then like people just started harping on my teeth. There's this like one comment, and it really stuck with me, that I had redneck teeth, that I was missing a tooth in the front. And you know what? Who cares if I was? That is not judging my content. That's not judging what I was making and doing. And so I stopped putting my face in my videos, and I'm still feeling really self-conscious about talking to the camera and making this content, because I'm afraid of having my appearance critiqued again. And how crappy is that? It's like such a like thing that women on the internet have to cope with, have to deal with. And people were just perpetuating that. And God, just get behind your get out from behind your keyboard and stop it. Go do something fun with your life instead of like posting crappy comments on someone's YouTube video. Or don't watch it if you don't like what I look like, or you don't like what I sound like. Don't watch my videos. But at the same time, if you're gonna watch my videos, you're gonna critique my look. I don't get it. I don't understand that. But anyway, so that's kind of why I left. It was just like all of these things all at once, and it was just too much. Yeah, YouTube just got to be too much and not any fun anymore. Like, I just wasn't enjoying YouTube. YouTube stopped being an enjoyable experience for me because the haters had found me. The losers had found me. And I don't have time in my life. And this is one of the things that I always talked about on Comfortable Shoes Studio, is that the blog serves me. I don't serve the blog. The content serves my life. I hate that content creator like language. I make art videos, I create instructional how-tos about all sorts of things. And as long as it serves me, I keep doing it. And YouTube stopped serving me. YouTube stopped being an enjoyable experience, so I stopped doing it. And I really didn't want to stop doing it because I had enjoyed YouTube for 5 years at that point. And it didn't serve me anymore, so I let it go. And that was hard. That was a really hard decision to make. And I think for anyone who does any sort of content creation, who makes any sort of creative art-based things, then it is difficult. It's incredibly difficult to say this thing that I loved is not worth my time or effort anymore. And that's where I was. That's where I was in 2012 and 2013. And I'd really hoped during grad school I would have time, but I didn't have time in grad school. I had this, I don't know, like, I thought grad school was going to be like my undergrad, where I kind of coasted through. I did a lot of hard work, but I kind of coasted through on my capabilities instead of coasting through and doing hard work. I shouldn't say that. That's not really true. I did a lot of hard work in my undergrad, but my undergrad, I had a lot of spare time. I did not have that same amount of spare time in my graduate school. And I think that's pretty common for people who go into grad school. You know, you work, maybe at a part-time job or a full-time job, and you do grad school part-time, and it's an intense amount of work. I spent a lot of time reading, scholarly articles. I spent a lot of time writing, and I did a thesis, and it was a huge amount of work, and there was at no point during that time where I could have really done YouTube videos the way I had. Also, in that time, the laptop that I had bought to do YouTube videos died. I mean, it was an unceremonious, overheating, burn-up death. So what are my plans? What are my plans for this channel? I've got a few plans. First off, I want to continue growing it. I had been at a point where I had almost 6,000 subscribers, and now every time I post a video, I lose subscribers. And I think that's because some of my videos currently are pretty weird. They're not art making content. They're silent, or they're just not what I used to post. And that just reminds people that they subscribed to me years ago and they're like, why am I here? Also, I'm not interested in art journaling anymore, which is fair. Or they're not interested in me talking to the camera anymore, and fine. But my goals for the channel are to continue doing some of this vlog style of content. I really think that Manuscripting Pod and RSVP would have been better with video. I think some of the conversations that I had, especially with Manuscripting Pods, which were conversations with myself about art and creativity, would have been better if I had done video content to go along with the audio content. And they did pretty well on YouTube. But here we are, and I'm hoping to do some more vlog style content, which is kind of like a podcast, get that kind of podcast feeling going again. I also want to do more how-to content. I want to get back into that art journaling content like I used to post. I kind of want to reclaim junk journaling. I could say more, but I won't right now. I want to get people into that sloppy, grungy style of art journaling that serves your purposes and is therapeutic, without being a therapist, because while I am an art therapist, I'm not your art therapist. So you can do therapeutic stuff without it being therapy. Things can feel good and it doesn't have to be therapy. But I digress. So I want to do some of that kind of content. I want to do some more of that customization stuff, the make it mine. I want to talk about the materials and things you need for customizing things and making them 100% yours. I want to talk more about using the stuff you have. Like I'm using a very old camera. I don't even remember when I got this camera. I think it's about 10 years old. I think I got this around the time I quit, or before. This might be even older. It is a high definition camera. But anyway, using the things that you have, and working simply in your art journal instead of going to Michael's and buying more, because you don't need to do that. You can make really quality stuff in your art journal with very, very simple materials, and then add to what you have. But I could talk for hours on that, and that's not what this video is about. This video is about my return to YouTube. Another question: why am I returning? Why am I back? I am now in a position where I have time. I have time to make the videos. I have equipment to make the videos. Even though some of my equipment is older, I'm capable of doing this. And I really, really enjoyed those videos when I was making them. And I think I have opinions and ideas about art journaling and making art and customizing things that people can use. I've seen that the work that I do as an art therapist is absolutely helpful for people, and I think I can do that work on YouTube and get more of it out there, expand the channel, reach more people, and I think that's like part of being an art therapist, and part of what I had always done was bringing art journaling to more people, so that more people could hear about it, more people could experience it, more people could use an art journal in the way that I did to save their lives, to change their lives, to make change in their life. And that is so important, and I think that's something that I definitely want to get back to, and I think YouTube is a great medium for that, and I really want to harness this. I want to use what I had and what I did to make good content, make videos that have meaning and purpose. And I want you to be able to use those videos to give yourself meaning and purpose, and use an art journal with meaning and purpose. Customize your stuff, so that you're like enjoying life. And I know some people were like, you got a lot of time on your hands, Leslie, and here's that first chapstick tube that I decorated on the channel, and people wonder if I actually use it. I sure do. Yeah. So yeah, keep watching those videos. I'm gonna do some more customization stuff, for sure, because I find that really, really fun and enjoyable. And by customizing something, you make it 100% yours. And it always when I do that, like that chapstick tube brings me joy now. Every time I bring it out, I got a skull in my pocket that's kind of like, I don't know, acidic. So I like that. But you can do that with a lot of different things. And I kind of want to explore that and bring that to more people. So yeah, so that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the YouTube channel, is bringing what I do to more people, not just at work. So yeah, I hope I hope that answers some questions. I hope all of this recorded properly and in focus so I don't have to record it again, because that was a problem. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, head over to my Ko-fi account, and give me some support if you like the ideas that I have. Maybe I'll be able to buy a new laptop someday and make better videos. But thanks for watching.